Hello and welcome to the weekly Asylum and Immigration Reform Recap, where I share with you 5 recent stories of interest for asylum seekers and those wanting to stay updated on immigration news. This week, we're discussing
New York City's mayor sparked controversy with insensitive comment about migrants. A report shows the changing demographics of migrants at the U.S. Mexico border. Democratic senators urged the closure of private detention centers for migrants. Critics take aim at Trump's promise of a large-scale deportation effort. Critics say a proposed asylum rule contradicts international guidelines.
I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now, as an asylum attorney, I help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. All right, let's get to the news. First up,
New York City Mayor Eric Adams sparked controversy by suggesting immigrants could help alleviate the city's lifeguard shortage due to their excellent swimming abilities. Advocates criticized the remark as racist and demeaning, arguing it trivialized the dangerous journeys migrants undertake. Adams defended his position, highlighting the federal government's failure to expedite work permits for qualified immigrants to fill city jobs. His spokesperson reiterated that preventing migrants from working is un-American. Critics condemned the mayor's divisive language. The Big Apple has struggled under the weight of an influx of asylum seekers who, for the most part, are not allowed to work legally until 6 months after they have submitted their asylum application. The Biden administration has made exceptions for certain asylum seekers under pressure from the mayors of several large cities, who say that the ability to work legally helps immigrants become self-sufficient sooner, taking pressure off of city services.
And up next for update number 2.
A new report shows that the border crisis between the United States and Mexico has evolved significantly, with changing demographics of migrants presenting new challenges for the immigration system. The crisis is marked by an increase in families and unaccompanied minors from countries beyond Mexico and Central America, including Haiti and African nations. Policy responses have varied, with the Biden administration reversing some Trump-era measures while grappling with a surge in arrivals. The situation is complicated by inadequate infrastructure and resources to handle the influx. Despite efforts to address root causes in migrants' home countries, the flow of people seeking asylum or better economic opportunities continues, straining U.S. border enforcement and immigration courts. The complexity of the crisis underscores the need for comprehensive immigration reform and international cooperation to manage and mitigate the humanitarian and logistical challenges at the border.
All right, it's time for our third immigration update.
A group of Democratic senators, led by Elizabeth Warren, has urged the Department of Homeland Security and ICE to close 4 private detention centers accused of human rights abuses. The senator's letter highlights facilities in New Mexico, California, Louisiana, and Virginia, citing issues like sleep deprivation, unsanitary conditions, and psychological trauma. They call for the government to end contracts with these centers and explore community-based alternatives to detention. This push comes as President Biden faces criticism for increasing funding for immigrant detentions, despite campaign promises to end for-profit detention facilities. Neither DHS nor ICE has responded to these calls. Immigration is proving an exceptionally charged and prominent issue as the presidential campaign heats up, with many voters listing it as the most important issue facing the country. The issue favors Donald Trump, with Biden struggling to look tough on illegal immigration of late.
By the way, if you want to stay updated on asylum and immigration reform news, then make sure to press the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you don't miss the next video. Okay, moving on, we're ready for update number 4.
Critics are taking aim at Donald Trump's revived promise of a large-scale deportation effort if re-elected, targeting millions of undocumented immigrants. His proposal, reminiscent of Eisenhower's 1950s program, involves leveraging local law enforcement and possibly the military. Trump claims up to 20 million people could be deported, including those he falsely asserts came to the United States from prisons and mental institutions in their home country. Immigration advocates highlight the logistical and humanitarian challenges of such a plan, noting it would disrupt families, businesses, and communities. Deporting millions would require immense resources, cost billions, and face significant legal and political hurdles. Estimates suggest that about 10.5 million undocumented immigrants live in the U.S. The proposal raises questions about feasibility, economic impact, and the moral implications of uprooting established residents.
And finally, our 5th immigration update for this week.
The Biden administration's proposed rule to empower USCIS asylum officers to apply asylum bars at the border contradicts international guidelines and long-standing U.S. legal principles, says former immigration judge Jeffrey Chase. According to Chase, the 2003 UNHCR guidelines emphasize rigorous procedural safeguards in exclusion determinations, requiring thorough legal assessments, rather than expedited procedures. The proposed rule undermines the intent of the 1951 Refugee Convention and the 1967 Protocol, which aimed to establish a consistent universal refugee standard. Critics argue that quick decisions at the border, often without legal representation or evidence, risk wrongful deportations and violate the Charming Betsy doctrine. This doctrine mandates aligning U.S. law with international law whenever possible. Scholars and advocates urge the administration to adhere to international standards to maintain the integrity of asylum procedures and uphold the intent of Congress and international treaty obligations.
And that concludes this week's immigration news. If you want to win asylum in the United States, then you should call my office today. We help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you are. Call us now to schedule an Asylum Strategy Session so that we can assist you in securing your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning, and it's an honor to serve you in your immigration journey.